Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Brennan Janeau Show. I'm your host, Brennan Janeau. Today's topic is God's plan. Yeah, Drake song, but completely different. What have we always been told, right? In life, God has a plan for all of us. God has a plan for you, me, the children that are not here, and the children that are lost in this world. God has a plan. God has a plan. God has a plan for all of us, I do believe, but I do not think certain people know what their plan is because they're so motivated by fame, wealth, and money that they don't know what the hell God's plan really is. And I'm not here to tell anybody what you think God should be calling out to you or what you think God really wants you to be or do. I think you know what you want probably more than I do. But I'm just saying, when you say God has a plan for me and then you jump into something completely different because it gives you money or it gives you a sense of security, I'm one of the believers of God has a plan for me, but God also is not going to force me to do anything that I know He doesn't need me to do. That's not what He wants me to do. Now, I don't know if He wants me to do this podcast. Clearly, when He does speak to me, I'm on these podcasts. So I don't know if this is His plan for me. I wish it is, because I really love doing podcasts. I love getting my thoughts out there. I love being motivated by feeling like I could help people one day with my words and my sentiments. I think that we gotta tell people that we love them and motivate them to do what they want to do. I think that God's plan for any of us at the end of the day is to do what we always love to do. And I think that certain people get these jobs for 30, 40 years and it's never something they actually wanted to do, but they were doing it because they thought that this is the job that's helping me feed my family, raise my kids, give me the house that I've always wanted, give me the picket fence that I always wanted, move me in a neighborhood I always wanted to move into. And you do it. You do it for 40 years, and every day you got up and you hated the shit out of that job. Every single day you regretted every step you took in that job. You got to a point in that job that you literally looked at yourself every day in the mirror and said, is this really what my life has come to? That I have to be here every single day. I have to act like I give a shit about this job every single day. And we're stuck in that mindset because that's the way we move. That's the way we do shit. That's the way we have always thought of ourselves, right? God's plan for us is to do what you love to do. I don't know what y'all love to do. I can't tell you what you love to do. I don't know what you love to do. But you know. I would hope you do. You're in your 20s. Maybe not. Early 20s. Maybe not. Getting closer to your 30s. You start to get an idea of what you love to do. 40s, you should full on be doing what the hell you love to do. That's God's plan to me. I don't think that anybody should be told, just make your money and things will work out that way. What the hell do you mean, just make my money and things just gonna work out? How the hell you know that God is not telling me to leave this job and create something or do something that could change the world? But I'm stuck at this job because you think this is the perfect spot for me right now. God's plan is not somebody telling you that God wants you to do that. If God's been telling you, hey man, I think you could do better with your life if you just decide to do it. If you move this way for this moment, things would be better. I'd rather be broke and doing what the hell I want to do with my life and living my dream that way than to be rich with a big ass house on the hills and miserable to the point where I want to kill myself. That's the problem with certain people. They get to a point in their lives where they think that the money and fame and all that shit was supposed to be what God wanted you to have, and then you completely miss the whole point of what God really was telling you to do. I've been thinking for the last couple of days about evolution, progress. This country keeps screaming, we're making progress, we're going to progress, we're changing, we're evolving into the country we always wanted to be. That's cool, whatever. Until I see it, y'all ain't doing shit but saying shit, blowing hot air, and keeping the money in y'all goddamn pockets and trying to act like y'all give a shit. But for me, what am I doing to give people that opportunity? All I'm doing is just recording shit through a phone. That's what the podcast is. It's just me on an app that I downloaded, recording through a phone. It's nothing special about that. Or is it? I'm on the phone today recording. 2 years from now, I might be in a studio recording. 5 years from now, I might own that studio that I was recording in. The phone that I was using, people might see as the iconic phone of the year. You never know. You never know. Progress to me now means, do I understand what I was placed on this planet for? And I still don't know. I'm going to be honest. I'm 26, so I'm never going to probably find out. I probably won't know until I meet God himself. And he tells me, you was doing great down there. I never wanted you to know. I never told you that, but I think you knew, but you just never realized it. And I think that's what we all need to. We need somebody to tell us when we are doing something good. It's not because we want people to give us accomplishments and say you're doing great or anything like that, like they're Tony the Tiger, some shit. We want them to be like, look, I actually see what you're trying to do. I see the vision. I see what you're trying to achieve. Do it for all of us. I love that. I think last podcast I was talking about imagination versus reality. And I was like, never let your reality oversee your imagination. Your image versus reality. Your image should never oversee your reality. Because your image in your head of what you think you have and what you really have could fuck up and get you into a point where you think, now I'm never going to reach that point. I'm never going to be in that position. I'm never going to do it. Oh, man. So bring it back to this. Does God's plan for you really, really bring it all full circle? Or are you just doing things just because that's what you know? People get jobs just because that's what they know. They don't really have no other particular skills. If they drive, they drive. If they, run, they run, I guess. I don't, like, if you manage, you manage. If you do business, you do business. Like, you don't have any particular skills because that's all the fuck you did your entire life. You never thought about anything else. But if you could, what would you think you would do? What is your plan that you just averted to because it was the easy way out? What if God really did have another plan for you? You just had to sit for a second and kind of figure it out. I get it. Life moves fast. So you got to do what you got to do to keep yourself busy and interesting and focused and all that. Yeah. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit. What do you think you should be able to do with your life. It's a bunch of bullshit. Stop trying to convert yourself to what people want you to be and be what you are. Stop trying to be something that you're just not. God had a plan for you a long time ago. You decided to take God's plan and say, I think God really want me to do this. Maybe for the first 5 years, yeah. And now you're stuck there. 30 years later. You getting retired because this new kid that looks that's younger, cheaper than you, that you taught everything, took your job. You taught this motherfucker everything and he now takes your job? Ain't that some shit? You think that was God's plan for you? No. It was what? It was God's plan when you got the job 5 years, 30 years ago. 30 years later, you know what I'm saying? Man, that's a fucked up shit. How they gonna do that to me? Because you should have left 25 years earlier. And you never did it. Because that was your fuck up. That was your hang up. You thought God wanted you to have that job. And you did that because that's what you thought. And people kept telling you, that's a good job. You need to keep it. Yeah, you need to keep it to keep money. But if you know you want to do something else and you got a passion for something else, that's probably God's plan for you. And you just continue to ignore it because people told you God had a plan for you already. That job, you need to keep it. 5 years, you already 5 years in, you might as well keep it now. Like, you're getting benefits and everything. God's plan. What do you think he's really telling you? And do you think you're doing it or do you think you're not because of what people are telling you? And if that is true, why are you letting people tell you what to do with your life? Stop letting other people control you, man. Stop letting other people tell you what they think you should do. I know I said this last podcast. Not all good, not all people, not all criticism is bad. We need criticism. We need people to tell us what we think we're not doing right. That's what we need. We need that. But if somebody is trying to keep you from your dreams because they think you would never achieve them, cut their ass off immediately. I think that's God's plan. This is Brian Janeau Show. I'm out.